yeah, Haruka. Pour in all that pudding. Wait a minute, no. That's too much. Oh god, I'm drowning. I'm drowning! Ah, what? Huh? Oh. Okay. Well, Thursday, Obon Festival in Japan, so I get the day off, bitches! Woo! Gonna have an awesome day, full of doing nothing Bleach related at all. Nope. Nope. Oh, yes. Nope. Nope. Oh, come on!
Say my name, Tekking.
Yeah, right. And, who would you be again?
Oh, you know, I'm the bald guy with the beard from Squad Zero.
Oh, wait, you mean Ichibei Hyosuke? Jeez! Was the giant thunderclap really necessary? Or the creepy-ass voice?
Oh yeah, that. Well, I just figured you'd be more liable to listen to me if you had a really creepy demon voice inside of your head.
Okay, you know what? It doesn't even matter. It's a moot point. What are you doing here, bugging me all morning?
Oh, well you see, I'm here because you have unfinished business to attend to, Tekking.
Oh, of course. Why wouldn't I have unfinished business? Yeah, this is great on top of everything else. Okay, so what is this? Lay it on me, Santa Claus.
Allow me to present Exhibit A. These are the videos that you made chronicling my epic battle with Yuha Bach. In all of my glorious splendor as the head of the Zero Squad, I defended the Soul Palace from this horrible wretch as long as I could before I had to—
Hey, let's not get ahead of ourselves here. You did get your ass blown into about 1,000 pieces at the end of that fight.
Yeah, whatever. Anyway, do you notice that a particular number is missing between the 607 and the 609? I could have sworn there was an 8 that was supposed to go in between those numbers.
Really? It's my day off.
Hey, I'm just saying, if you have any pride as a reviewer, you will make sure that there are no gaps in your schedule. And furthermore— oh shit, no. Hey, what's up, Ichibei? How you doing? I saw you were in the middle of a cloud conversation, so I came on over. Yuha Bach, roll the Quincy's Almighty! How's that neck doing, buddy, considering, you know, I separated it from your body along with the rest of your freaking limbs? Look, I'm just trying to do a conversation with this kid right here. Can we just, you know, lay this off it? Oh yeah, sure, no problem. Hey, next time we fight, don't worry, I'll go easy on you. I'll only use one of my pinkies. Hell, I mean, hey, what do I expect, though? This guy's fighting with a freaking ink pen!
Hey, do you guys need me for anything, or can you just, you know, fuck off?
Shut up and go do the damn review!
Okay, fine, whatever. I don't even care anymore. Let's just go. Come on. Freaking pain in my ass. Ichibei Hyosuke. 'Alright, so this will be Bleach Chapter 608 review, titled, shit, what was it titled? Darkness from the Blackest of Black. And for those of you that are keen to remember, last year, when this chapter was initially released, I didn't review it. And that was because that week was pretty heavy for me. I was, finals were gearing up for college, and I had a lot of work that week at my other job, so I was really busy. And I think I could have reviewed it, but it would have been like a week late. It would have been like, okay, so like the chapter comes out on Thursday, and like the earliest I would have been able to review it would have been the following Wednesday. And then, of course, the next chapter, chapter 609, would have been released the next day. So it's either I could do back-to-back reviews in my already busy schedule, or I could just skip it. And that's what I did. But here we are today to take a look at it. So here we go. The chapter immediately preceding this, chapter 607, ended off with Ichibei Hyosubi fighting against Yuha, releasing his Zanpakuto Ichimonji, which is probably the first Zanpakuto ever made into existence since he's like the head of the Zero Squad. You know, before it was released, just in its sealed form, it just took the appearance of a regular paintbrush, and then after releasing it, all that really changed was it changed the brush to a blade, and that was everything that happened to it. Everything else remained the same. However, there was like a black streak coming off of it, and I figured that was probably not just, you know, for like a special effect for the manga, like boom or anything like that. I assumed that was probably the actual effect of Ichimonji, like leaving a black streak of ink in the sky, since that was, you know, Ichibei's power all along is to manipulate ink in some way, you know, to make seals and shit. So chapter starts off, actually, we cut back down to the regular Soul Society, or the outskirts of the Vandente, where we see a wooded forest area in Rukongai, most likely, where we see some deer drinking at a stream. God damn it! Okay, we're like 2 panels in, and I already got a problem with this. Okay, deer in the Soul Society. Okay, you know what? If this was, you know, any preceding arc in this series, wouldn't have a problem with it. Except for the fact that in this arc, you know, just about 50 or so chapters ago, you introduced the concept of having a beast realm. You know, so, okay, there's a realm for animals and a realm for human souls. That makes perfect sense. And then you have deer. Come on! The deer, okay, you know what? Screw it. The deer are probably just Shinigami. They are not, no, they are Shikigami. Yes. They are to defend the Seirei. If the Shinigami were to fail, it will fall in the hands of the Shikigami. Alright, that makes sense. Alright, so inside of the creek, we zoom in to see some lizard, newt, gecko-looking thing that is completely dyed pitch black, and then it wiggles its tail. So, oh yeah, by the way, there's Shinigami geckos as well. It's like that gecko that advertises the car insurance, whatever. Anyway, the black from the skin of the gecko begins to just kind of squirm off its body and gets sent upwards. And we have the text blacken next to it in the corner, and this is also a word that in Japanese also refers to trying to reason something wrong into being right, you know, trying to justify something. So this is probably indicative of his power, where it's like maybe it has some negative effects on like the entirety of the Seirei, kind of like whenever Yamamoto goes into Bankai. You know, Yamamoto can't use that Bankai lightly, because every time he goes into it, it runs the risk of, you know, if he stays in that form long enough, all the water and moisture will be removed from the Seirei, and if he probably believes in it long enough, it would probably begin melting the entirety of, you know, the Seirei, so that's why he can't use it all the time. And probably Ichimonji is a similar way. Wherever he releases it, you know, it has some kind of negative effect on top of adding the power. So we cut back up to this the Soul Palace, where we see Ichibei completely releasing his sword in a full-page spread, Ichimonji, and then we have Yuha Bach just staring at it, wondering what the fuck just happened, because he just says, well, it's the same exact thing as it was before. The only difference is that the brush turned into a blade, and while the blade is very thick and massive, that's what she said, Yuha, it represents no Reiatsu coming off of it, so there's really nothing where he's really worried about. However, he does kind of like a double take, I would imagine, where he's like staring at the blade, and then he just like blinks once, and he sees that it transformed back into a paintbrush, and then he blinks back, and he's like, it's back to a blade, and he's just like, oh, what the hell was that? I mean, I thought it was I thought it turned into a blade, but it appears to still have the appearance of a brush, you know, just now. And Yuha's questioning this, like, was I just seeing things, or what was that? And Ichibei decides to fill him in, and you can see how freaking smug he is in this entire fight. He doesn't seem scared at all that Yuha is going to be able to kill him. You know, he's just like, shall I enlighten you, punk? Well, it turns out that it's kind of hard to distinguish Ichibei's weapon between a blade or a brush, because they are so similar to each other, in which case he just swings his bladed weapon, Ichimonji, which creates I guess it sends us into the title page once again. I mean, this entire chapter is one of Kubo's wet dreams. I know for a fact he's just sitting there at his freaking drawing table, and he's just like, yes, more black, yes, more black, and he just takes his pen and he just breaks it in half, and all the ink starts spilling out, and he's just like, yes, more ink, I've waited for this moment for over 13 years! Well, yeah, that's what the title page is almost completely blacked out, as well as the title of the chapter, which is also an ink splatter coming off the attack that Ichibei just delivered. So, Yuha managed to counter it. He raised up his sword, which I dubbed Soibarong, against his blade, and he begins to parry it fairly well. However, he states that even though, the ink is splattering everywhere, I can't slice it at all. It's very interesting. He's trying to still figure out exactly what this blade does, because every time he comes in contact with it, it doesn't emit any Ryatsu, so I guess Yuha is figuring that he should be able to cut through it fairly easily, but he doesn't, and instead, it doesn't seem to be doing anything negative to him. It just keeps splattering ink everywhere. Ichibei brings up the fact that over the past few chapters, he managed to cut Yuha's power in half by, covering him with his brush's ink. However, Yuha simply retorts, he's like, oh, well, I'm able to revive myself with that same power, so it doesn't matter how many times you take it away from me, because now, with this here, and he trails off, and he's about to say the name of his sword, except this time it's a little bit different. He completely forgets about what his sword's name is, as if it never had one. And Ichibei is just kind of smirking even more. He's holding up his ear. He's like, what's that? What's your sword's name? It doesn't have a name, because I took it away, because I have my sword. So I guess the difference between, his Shikai and what it was in his sealed form, because it had a similar effect in its sealed form, whatever the ink or the paint or whatever came in contact with it, like it had its syllables cut down and, stuff like that, and the power gets halved. This time, though, it seems to completely remove the name from existence, as if anything covered by the ink, as with his sword, which I forget, I think I named it, but I forget its name. Anyway, apparently the memory gets removed from it altogether, as if, you get splattered by this blade, Ichimonji, you would forget your name altogether, as Yuha forgot the sword. However, Ichibei brings up, it's not that sword doesn't, you forgot it. It's the simple fact that it doesn't have a name. Its name was completely blotted out from existence. Anything that has been blotted out by Ichimonji loses its name. So that's now and forever. It's not like Yuha is just forgetting. It's just that its name, whatever name it did have before this, was completely removed from existence. And therefore, Ichibei goes on to say that with a nameless blade and a nameless cross, the prospects of you killing me seem rather dim. However, Yuha simply states that this isn't a big deal. He won't defeat him with a nameless sword. He'll just use his own power, because I don't think at this point any ink really got on Yuha yet. Despite the fact that Ichibei said you have a nameless cross. That's the thing that doesn't make any sense, because, it's just his sword that got covered in the ink and got its name blotted out. But Yuha himself is still okay at this point, so I don't know why he said nameless cross, or, whatever. But anyway, Yuha still has his Quincy powers, so he activates a new technique we haven't seen yet called Sanct Alta, which means holy altar, and he summons a giant Quincy pentacle above Ichibei, which I guess this is an ability he can use to steal the power from anything. This might be maybe the basis for the metallized power, the ability that the Quincy's use, the, trap a Bankai. Maybe this is like the originator of that Yuha can compress down into a metal to give to the Stern Ridders, and that way they can seal the Bankai, because the act of it seems rather simple. He raises up his hand, it seals the power in the pentacle, probably the same thing. Anyway, the power envelops Ichibei, and nothing happens, though. That he could not steal his power. Ichibei states that, don't worry, I did have my power stolen, really I did. However, the power I lost is not something that you can just make yours. My power is black itself. So we're just talking anything that's achromatic, anything that's black in color, whether it be in the Soul Palace or the Seirete or wherever, Ichibei can manipulate that and make it his own power. So even though Yuha used Sanct Altar to steal its power, he can't make it his own because his power is all black in the world, and that's not something you can just take over. I would imagine if this was like a simple power, like let's say if Ichibei himself was able to, generate lightning from his body, then Yuha uses Sanct Altar and he's like, okay, I can generate lightning from my body now. But the power that Ichibei is using doesn't come from his body, it comes from his surroundings, and Yuha can't manipulate that for whatever reason. I guess he can only steal powers that are an ability that originates from the person he's trying to steal it from, not something that gets its power from everywhere else around him. So we get a brief glimpse at the tip of its blade that's absorbing all the black. We cut back down to the Vanente where we see all the Shinigami and Quincy's that have fallen in battle having the black stolen from them. From the Shinigami, it's their Shihakshos. From the Quincy's, it's like their boots and stuff. Oh, okay, well at least that's one good thing. Yuha's army is mostly clad in white, so I guess they can't make a lot of power Ichibei, so that makes a lot of sense. In fact, I just thought of a good idea. Yuha, if you want to take down Ichibei, all you gotta do is gather an elite crack team of soldiers from anime and manga that all have white hair. I'm talking Shiro from Dead Man Wonderland, Phantom from Mare, and I don't know, Deckham from Death Parade. You could put him in there somehow. He can make, use of something. But not only that, we also cut inside the 12th Division barracks where we see Uruhara, Nanao, and Love that are also kind of, working on opening the gate. And we see black coming off of them as well. Nanao and Love's hair as well as Uruhara's, not as like his kimono or something. But the funny thing is, we see black coming off of Uruhara's hat. And I'm pretty sure it's always been confirmed that Uruhara's hat is not in fact black, it is green and white. So I guess anything that's even slightly dark in color gets absorbed by Ichimonji. And by the way, they don't seem to be, worried about this at all. Although I have to question, if the black is being absorbed, shouldn't that mean that their bodies should be dyed white or at least another color? I mean, the black is being removed, so therefore it should change color, right? Oh my god, I've had all the black out of my hair sucked. Oh wow, I'm blonde. Well, that actually works. I actually kind of like this. Oh god, no, my fro! This is horrible. What am I gonna do now? This is something I do not like. Every last bit of black in this world will now bend to my whim. So that's the end of the chapter where the last page is pretty much, once again, 60-70% black completely. Ichibei goes back into his crazy whited out pupils as he just, swipes Ichimonji. Too many Ichis in this damn show now. We have Ichibei, Ichimonji, Ichigo. Just cut off with the freaking ones, Anyway, yeah, Ichibei just swings his Shikai, and that sends a giant wave of ink splattering all over Yuha, which I guess will remove his powers completely. So, in other words, Ichibei just completely won this fight. There's no way Yuha could counter now, especially since his name is completely removed, so he has no powers left. Ichibei just has to walk up to him, cut off his head. Then I'm sure he'll just turn around and he'll see all the other members of the Zero Squad, arrive, and they'll have the corpses of all the elite Stern Ritters, those toss them in front of him, and then Ichibei will be like, oh, okay, cool, we can throw a funeral pyre tonight, and they'll have a good old-fashioned time, and Ichigo will arrive with Chad and Orihime and Ganju and Yoruichi, and they'll be like dancing around the bonfire like, hey, here you go, Ichigo, have some s'mores, we already took care of the Quincy's, but it's cool. Uri will be there and he'll be like, oh, hey guys, I was just trying to, pal around with Yuha, but he's already defeated, so everything's good, right? Yep. End of the series. Thanks to Ichibei, the strongest Shinigami that could never be bested by a fool such as Yuha. Oh, the sarcasm is strong with this one. Alright, everybody, see you later. Shoulda gone Bankai.